Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Dollar Hour. I am Deontay Burton, a.k.a. Mr. Short Dollar himself. Tonight we got an awesome show playing. Tonight is, I hear so much, people talk so much in regards to building their credit, getting business credit and things like that, but they always seem like they always get back in a funk. And I just want to have a show titled tonight, Fixing Your Credit Won't Fix Your Problem. Again, fixing your credit won't fix your problem. Again, before we get started, we'll introduce my awesome producers, DJ Lab.
It's Thursday.
Yes, sir.
It's
yes,
Thursday.
sir. Yes, sir.
That's right.
Also, Slick 316. Man, I'm super excited about tonight, man. You know, business been booming, tax season been going pretty good. You know, YouTube channel going okay, and everything. So I'm super excited and everything. I dropped a couple new videos for Change Your Lives. So we're trying to get all of that back out of the ground. You guys make sure you check out my other YouTube channel, Change Your Lives, hosted by Deontay Burton. I'm super excited. I've been pumped all week.
Say you've been a little busy this week.
Yeah. Tax season got me going. Been making a little money, bro.
That's a good thing.
Making me a little money, man.
We'll take it.
We'll take it. All the time. But like I said, fixing your credit won't necessarily fix your problem. That's the title of tonight's show. You know, kind of just rehash the previous week. Like I said, guys, we are in tax season. Everything going pretty good. Boys doing pretty good. We'll be wrapped up his rec basketball season.
Okay, how you come out?
They won like 1 or 2 games.
Oh,
one or two games.
Yes.
He probably led the league in fouls and everything.
My bad. We got to give him a clap for that.
What that song say? F it up, F it up.
That's right.
That's what my baby boy be out there doing.
Gotta start somewhere.
F it up.
Right.
But they shout out to the coach, man, and the team. They had fun this year.
Okay.
And everything, so it was cool. Well, so now we know full-fledged and back in the track season. So you know me, man, just be out there, at the meets all
Sports
summer.
dad.
Shit, tired dad. But besides that, everything going pretty good. Guys, what made me think about again tonight's show is that I see so many videos in regards to people, trying to get business credit. Most of the time, people, they want to start a business up, and everybody want to be able to do certain things with, having the business. They don't have money, so the thought process comes up a lot of times. People want to be able to get some kind of loan to get their business, and with the whole advent of the SBA loans and everybody getting acquisitions and getting money and stuff, I think it kind of gave a lot. It gave people probably a distorted perception on how to get business funding and business lending. We'll talk about that. But tonight, I want to make sure, we just have an open discussion in regards to most of the times, even when you're able to get access to capital, get access to funding, it's funny how you still find yourself back at the place you started back at.
Square one.
Yeah, nobody like talking about that.
Scratch.
Yeah, it's like you break your neck to get into the hunt to get the money, and then when you get it, a couple of months later, you back at square one. Okay. Right now, we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Am I forgetting something? At Facebook. So again, this is the Dollar Hour. I am Deontay Burton, a.k.a. Mr. Short Dollar himself. Make sure that the main platform that we do stream from is the YouTube channel. We got close to 400 videos on the YouTube channel. Got an active grants playlist with over 150 grant opportunities. We cover business operations, business management, and business financing. Guys, go to the YouTube channel. Mr. Short Dollar, that's the main hub where all the videos are stored at. I know we're on all the other platforms, but just to take advantage of all the great information we do have on the channel, go to Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel, regardless of where you're looking at it right now, and just subscribe to the channel. And make sure you hit the bell to get a notification each time we upload a new video, right?
That's right.
Guys, okay, when we start talking about business credit, you turn on go on any social media, you got a lot of people selling, get business credit, just show them this, what they tell them, get your EIN, get LLC, your DUNS number, get some trade lines or something like that, and you can get, a business loan, right? I just wish one of these people that make these damn videos would actually walk into a bank and and prove that, hey, this works.
Right.
Because, brother been in the game 20 years. Right. I ain't never known it to be that easy. Just get this and get that.
And voila.
Man, you go in there and get laughed right out that branch. And unfortunately, so many people, they go down that road because they want to get business loans, they want to grow their business and stuff, because they may more than likely have some kind of challenges on their personal credit. So I won't use my personal credit, I'm using my business credit.
Right.
So I'm going to do these particular things. And far too often, people don't understand credit. They don't, not even the whole issue of credit, they don't understand financing, period.
Right.
So if you sit there and say to yourself, here's just a little nugget with everybody. If you get into a situation where you're actually, you've done all these things to actually get, access to capital, get a business loan, a lot of times it's not necessarily that you got the loan, it's at the cost of what you got the loan for. People don't necessarily sit here and tell you, hey, you can get a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 loan, but it's going to be at 15%, sometimes 20%. Most of your business credit cards start off, established business, 25 to 30%.
Oh.
So we start, and that's just real.
Right.
Go get your Chase card, see how it goes.
Okay.
I'm just saying, people don't understand that because they want it so bad. Not looking at the downside, and the people that are promoting it to them don't get them the whole picture. Yes, you can get this, but it's at what this costs.
Right.
And because you're not versed with that, and that's not your world, you're just so busy looking for that carrot. And they're waving it in your face. You can get this, you can get that.
Showing you how good they living off of it.
There you go.
Right.
And that's probably one of the biggest downfalls. And I want to discuss that tonight because, again, like I said, just fixing your credit, it ain't going to necessarily fix your problem. You still going to have other issues come about it. That doesn't mean not try. That doesn't mean you don't work on your credit. That doesn't mean, give up on everything. It means, like I always say, plan. Plan to get ready. Because that's the thing what people want to avoid. When you get a person like me that comes and tries to explain certain things like this, a lot of times people avoid it. Deontay just being negative. He's just saying this, that, and that. I'm not being negative, I'm being honest.
Right.
I've got SBA loans. I've dealt with this. I've dealt with banks and lenders all the time. I got a finance degree.
Okay, you're right.
I might know what I'm talking about.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I actually can prove that I've acquired these loans. This is all pre-pandemic, So I've been through all those grueling things, sitting with these banks and all that kind of stuff, I'm an accountant by profession. I've done all these government audits and stuff like that. So it's not like you're talking to somebody just making something up or shooting from the hip. But again, I just to say that typically when you start dealing with some of these people, and I'm not saying they lying, I'm just saying I would try to make sure I get some kind of proof.
Research.
Yeah, do some research, do some proof, and get some proof. But also, even if they got it, look at the product. Now, if you sit there and say to yourself, look, I done had foreclosures, I done had repos and all this kind of stuff, you shouldn't be shocked if you're going to get offered a bad deal.
Right.
So let's just be honest with that.
Okay.
Like, you shouldn't be shocked if what you offered really is not a favorable situation.
Right. The interest rate is really, really high.
Interest rate really, really high. The terms are short. Everything is just bad. Down payments, collateral, all that kind of stuff is just coming up. We can't be shocked at that. Now, that may just be, and you got to be realistic, that may just be your interest into the door, getting everything started. You'd be okay with that.
Right.
It's not as if, okay, that's what you got to settle for, that's the last thing possible, but that's your interest back into it, right? Anytime we have any kind of setback or anything that may not be favorable for us, and we got to start over from scratch or rebuild, I'm going to say never, but it's difficult to rebuild from the point that you were at before when you had no scratches on you. Because we know just basic society, say if you get incarcerated, it's already difficult if you have a clean record.
Right.
Just to, find employment, get certain things done. You put a blemish on you, it's just going to be challenging.
Just that much more difficult.
Exactly. And you got to be realistic with that kind of stuff. So you can't sit here and just get upset because you're not getting offered what you think is fair. You got levels of fair. Fair.
Right. It all depends.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So I think the more that you can educate yourself with it, and I understand, you're looking at it. I'm going on YouTube, I'm Googling, and I am educating myself. What I say is go to some of these banks, talk to some of these business lenders, get some information, get in uncomfortable conversations, or you got to be transparent or something like that.
We had a conversation a couple shows back about lending practices and getting loans. And that was a time, I want to say it was a few years ago, that was a time when everybody promoting you got to have black banks so they'll loan us more money and all that, so they'll loan us money quicker and give us favorable terms. But you were speaking on that, saying, even though that may be the case on some of them, they still got to make money. They still got to give you loans based on your liability, your assets, stuff like that. And you were speaking on that and saying how things, it may look good to say, but at the same time, they're still a bank. They're still gonna have to do things as a bank would do.
Let's analyze the whole theory of the black bank. Mm-hmm. We need to get more black banks to help build more black businesses and give more black people loans and stuff like that. Now, at the end of the day, just show me that.
Right.
With the number of black banks here, at the end of the day, the bank's still going to have to go off normal banking protocol. They got to look at your credit, they got to look at your capital, they got to look at the industry and everything like that. The only banks that can have that kind of leverage to take people that will be at risk just because of your color would be those major banks. Why? Because they have a bigger chain to be able to leverage out and take certain risks like that. You start starting up banks and stuff like that, they're going to be more strict. They're going to be more strict because, they're in more of a fragile state.
They got to reduce their liability.
Exactly. Now, you remember when they were having those campaigns with that Killer Mike and they were going around invest in this bank. I mean, that was just a campaign to get money in, get capital in. But theoretically, you can't do that. You can't take them kind of risks on people just because of race.
Right.
And I mean, I get it, and it sounds good, and it feels pretty cool to try to say, hey, we can get black banks to help the community. But if you got a 500 score, and you got all these repos and got all these collections on there, I don't care if you dang plaid. It still can't get you nothing.
Right.
And people, the problem come up with that is people don't want to spend any time trying to get themselves in the right position. And I get it. I get it. This happened. I got sick. I lost my job. I feel you with that. It just goes back to what I said before. You just got to spend a little time being uncomfortable trying to get yourself back together. But just that whole theory of having that, they still have to go back, and again, they have less leverage to do it. If people are following me with that, if I'm smaller and I'm just starting off, I can't take the chances Bank of America, Chase, or Wells take, right? What Truist does, they have all these they have all these billions of dollars in capital where they may have a community at-risk program where they can go into the black community and do that. A startup black bank can't do that because they don't have enough capital to do that. So what do they have to do? They got to find strictly that. And you see a lot of them, I guarantee you, if you look at majority of the African-American owned banks, I guarantee you most of their loans probably aren't to black folks.
A lot of people don't realize that the banks do a risk assessment. That's why they ask you for all that information, regardless of what bank it is. That's why they ask you for all this information, because they want to reduce their risk and assess how reliable you are for this loan. And that's with any bank. They have risk assessment. They have a person who does risk assessment. They have a person, when they say, okay, well, give us a couple of hours or give us 2 days, we'll get back to you. They have somebody looking over your stuff and seeing what the risk would be to give you that loan, and to assess if you are able to pay that loan back.
Well, see, again, guys, this is the dollar hour. Tonight we're talking about fix your credit won't fix your problem. To your point, Lab, we've had this conversation before in regards to, I don't think a lot of people understand, just how, the whole process of business. When you look at it, a bank is in business to what? They make money still, right? They want to help the community, but they still have to make money. How banks make money?
Right.
On interest payments, on fees, fines. That's how a bank makes money, right?
Right.
So at the end of the day, if they're not going to be getting their money back from those interest payments, they can't, they use the money they take from deposits to be able to lend money out. So at the end of the day, like I said before, they can't, even when they do that risk assessment, you have certain branches, they can be a little bit more flexible. But we go back to it again. If they're going to be flexible, it's not necessarily going to be the best of terms for you.
Right.
I know you at risk. I know you got challenges. You see what I'm saying? So with that said, I can't offer you the same product or situation of somebody with an 800 credit score.
Right.
I just can't. It is not fair. It's not realistic. And it's really not feasible for them to do if they want to stay open. It just ain't going to happen. And I think
I think that people don't realize that they use our money to give the loan, but when we come for our money, they gotta have it. I mean, even though it's FDIC insured, you still gonna want to go to the bank and get your money out. You don't want to see a sign across things that say, well, we ain't got them loan money back yet, so we ain't able to give you your money back. Well, sometimes that I mean, it's never happened, but I get, think about stock market crash and stuff like that. Those are the things that happen because those banks are leveraged in other things in order to keep themselves. They're using your money to do so. Stock market, 401ks, things of that nature. They're using that money to spread around in other investments in order to make them money. But at the same time, if they give out 200 credit score loans to everybody at favorable terms, who's to say that how long that bank stay in business? Yeah. You think about Washington Mutual, how long they was in business. They were giving out loans like that at one point.
Like hotcakes.
Right.
Hotcakes. I got that $30,000 line of credit. I ain't did one day of business. What, it was like 2003 or 2?
Yeah.
$30,000 line of credit just signing my name.
On a dollar line.
Just signing my name. I remember that.
Mutual.
Woo, I remember that. Ooh, that big W. Lady said, you want a line of credit? I said, yeah.
Yeah.
I asked for 75, they gave me 30,000. And I'm talking about I had nothing. Right. Nothing done. Exactly. That was back in 02, 03. Exactly. God, man, I remember that BS. But
and that's the same line.
No. But to your point, I just think that the flip side of it is that so many people don't understand those processes of how banking goes. And I think two things need to happen. I think a lot of times people that, like, from the bank perspective, they should put a lot of time, banks or even people just like myself should push a lot of information in regards to acquiring loans and doing a proper way of doing it, not necessarily giving you people this little Simple Simon blueprint to get a loan. If you really want to do business with Bank of America, Chase, and all them kind, people say stay away from it. But at the end of the day, let's be realistic. This is how you get that Prime Plus loans, where you're only paying 7-8% on a $100,000 loan. You ain't paying 15-20%. Because I tell you, we go that jackleg lender or whatever, that's what you're going to be paying, right? When you're trying to do, if you got bad personal credit, you don't want to be a guarantor on a loan, you don't want to have no personal liability with, or you're not going to get a favorable loan. You may get a loan, right, but it ain't necessarily going to be favorable to you. And I do think a lot of people, like I said, like myself and other people in finance and stuff, need to do it. Now, the flip side of it is they do it. Mm-hmm. What's the problem? People don't want to go through that. I mean, you guys know I'm a treasurer for 100 Black Men South Metro. We did the Black Empowerment, Financial Empowerment Conference at Banneker back in, what was the year for the pandemic? So it was like 2018, 2019. Mm-hmm. We had Chase, Wells, all these, Edward Jones, all these places funded. Mm-hmm. Ran ads on local radio stations and stuff like that. Had at Banneker High School. Over there in Banneker, what, at College Park? I think
I don't know.
It's over there in South
I'm
Florida.
sorry.
But we had it, man. I mean, it was all decked out. Man, I don't even think 30 people showed up. Really? We running straight V103, WALK, KISS 104 ads and everything. People want you to give them something, but they don't want to sit and through stuff. Okay, nah, that's what it is. And I'm being honest about that, like. Mm-hmm. I'm being honest about that. That's why I said it's kind of hard a lot of times when I hear people saying, well, we need to do this in the community. We need to do that. We do that. The people just don't want to do it. People want to be in business. People want to get a loan. Right. People want the cash to start their business. People don't want to go through the BS of starting a business. Process. People don't want to go through the BS of getting a loan and all that stuff. They don't want to do that. Because you start to go through all these check marks and getting sent back to do this. You ain't got denied, but you're getting all these tasks to do. They want me to get this. They want me to get that. I go through that with these the grant videos. Okay. I think you had the latest one we put out. I think you had to be for females, and you had to be a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. People raising saying they want me to be a nonprofit. Go start you one. Right. I'm just saying. I remember. And this just me being honest with myself. I had to get a $150,000 SBA loan about 7-8 years ago, and they said because my financials on the current business I wanted a loan for, they couldn't give it to me. Right. I already had in my mindset, I'm gonna get this loan, I'm gonna do this, that with my business, whatever. They said they couldn't give it to me. They said, but we can give you the loan if you start a new business up. Oh, okay. But I want to do it with my business. I'm thinking about half brain and everything. Like, well, this is what we're gonna offer. So I can sit there and be in my feelings and trip about because they don't want to get my business alone, or do what? Go down to Secretary of State website and go start me a whole new business.
Right.
And I got my money 3 weeks later.
Okay.
You can't major in the minor. If certain things are required of you to be successful, you got to do that. And the time you spend complaining and whatever, you're wasting out.
Right.
And also the person that's actually going to give it to you, you don't want them to change their mind. Screw it. Whatever.
Right.
And it happens all the time. People get caught into it. I'm telling you, man, we post those videos for grants and stuff. They want me to actually type something. They want me to post this. 8 or 9 people doing it. Why should I do it? You don't have to.
Right.
I always tell you guys, listen, when it comes to these grants, contests, or whatever, you have a 50-50 chance of getting it. But you got a 100% chance of not getting it if you don't apply.
Exactly.
It depends what chance you want to take.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're not willing to do it, I get it. I understand. But ain't nobody tripping about that either. And we start talking about getting access to capital and things like that. I read all the articles about, African Americans aren't getting this, they aren't getting that. I'm gonna be honest with you, like I'm and I try to sit here and think, because I'm on a lot of community boards and doing a lot of stuff. Like, they really don't ask for race.
Right.
Now we can have some conspiracy theories. They know by your social and your name and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, the bank trying to get money. I think, I might be wrong, they're more concerned with money than my color.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now, they're going at them, and they may go in there and see you and they be jealous. You getting this, that, and that. I get it. That's a human aspect. But for the most part, we live in a virtual society where a lot of stuff you can do it. The reason why I believe, and this is about 20 years and over 20 years, in banking, insurance, and financial services, most of the time I'm seeing with the black businesses getting denied because they ain't in compliance. They ain't in compliance. Another thing is they don't have no network to be able to call, hey, lab, listen, brother, can you help me out with this? And that's why being in compliance is so important. That's why networking is so important, because people say so much time, so you got to know somebody. It ain't what you know, it's who you know. That's right. Go get you some who's.
Right.
Go to these networking functions. Go to these different places. Go meet these bankers. Go do that. Get in uncomfortable spaces. Get in a situation where you got to talk to people that you don't normally talk to, so you can get comfortable with doing it. The more you say, I'm not comfortable talking to people, the more you say, I'm not used to it, and I feel my mouth get dry, I get stuttery, I don't like talking, being in that arena. I get it. But the more you avoid it, the more you halting, you get an opportunity to get access to certain things. Right. All right? Because a lot of times, theoretically, shout out to Woodward Reserve. I had that cotton mouth last week. Now, I ain't had no stick. I had my stick last week. Right. And this one right here cutting up on me. Cutting up on me, man. I knew. I said, when I grabbed out the humidor, I said, boy, I knew I'd take a little chance. Yeah. But we talk about it all the time, just being able to get out your comfort zone, to put yourself in a situation where you can grow and stuff. And that's why I say, just you turn around and you spend so much time getting your credit score and all this other kind of stuff together, and you go to do it, you got to be realistic what you're trying to do. So we look at the traditional standpoint of just say trying to get credit, and we understand that a lot of times people have made some either you have bad personal credit that you can't get a loan for, or you might want to switch it over, get it quote unquote off of yourself. You got a business loan or something like that, and you just want to be able to get your business finance where you feel like you don't have any personal responsibility. And you have so many people tell you you can get a business loan and don't have to be a personal guarantor and all that other kind of stuff, right? Which is possible. I would tell you guys, I want to say 80, 90%, I don't know if it's 90, but probably 80% of business loans are going to require to have a personal guarantor. They're going to want to have some kind of personal guarantee or individual where the loan will be in the business name. It won't show your personal credit. It won't. It will be under the tax ID number of the business. But if that business default, you liable for it.
Okay.
Okay. Y'all gotta understand that that's just most of them gonna do that. And if a lender doesn't require you to be a personal guarantee, they don't have for that loan is gonna be something serious. It's going to have a high interest rate. It's going to require a lot of collateral. It's going to require probably some down payments. So you got to be realistic about what you're trying to do and what you're asking for. They don't put that on those videos. And that's why I say a lot of times on videos, I really just be wanting to see like, okay.
They only show you the good part.
Yeah, be straight up about, okay, what bank I need to go to. They'll tell you about getting a trade line from this place, that place, and you got all that. But I mean, what's the cost to carry?
Right.
And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. We're going to throw some math stuff out. So a lot of time people, they do the traditional thing, think about coming get my loan, so they plan on doing it. They fix their credit. You know, you done paid the person to fix your credit, or you done took some time, paid some stuff off and everything because you ready to get that business started. Your score done went up. You go to a little place because now you get your loan, get your credit card, bam, you back in business. And from the point that you get back in business because you done got your loan, you worked on your credit, you got all that kind of stuff, you did what they told you to do, now the BS spiral is about to begin all over again.
Okay.
Like, hold on, Deontay. Look, man, I did what I was supposed to do. I got my loan. I got everything started. What in the world can go wrong now? Right? What can go on now? Well, we know what can go on now because we asked everybody where your PPP money at. Where your disaster money at?
Yeah.
What you sitting on it?
Yeah.
You sitting.
Right.
You don't know what none of that money is. And Biden just came out the other night, so we finna witch hunt, Lord. Hey man,
he witch hunt for them loans.
They finna find. They finna put task force together.
They gotta get that PPP back.
Yeah, they gotta get, man. We're gonna get out there because I don't want nobody shaking their boots. I want y'all focusing on this show. But and again tonight we're talking about fixing your credit won't fix your problem. And when we start getting into that situation, now we start looking around talking about the BS the BS spiral. When you get the loan, you don't work your tail off, you done got the loan. So once you got the money in hand, boom, check it out. Hey man, look, I got approved for that loan. Hey bro, yeah, 50,000. And what do people do? Acquire. They make purchases, do things, boom, 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 boom. And I ain't even talking about you go spend irregular stuff. I'm not talking about you we're not even going to the thought process that you got the loan and you went and bought a car, bought clothes. We talking about you really went and bought stuff to get your business. You
I was
went and
about
bought
to say, now some people might buy stuff for their business now.
We're going to go on that story.
Okay.
We riding legit. We went and bought us a mower, blower, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
We went and got us all the flow polisher, the scrubber. We got all that, right?
Right.
We got our lash machine. I ain't gonna forget the lashes. What other thing? Where they freeze, put on your butt, freeze your fat? Yeah.
So everything going great.
We getting everything. You know, all the equipment you got just to be an entrepreneur, right? Everything and stuff. But here's the deal: we started acquiring, and now we done used all the money for the loan. We done maxed that business credit card out. Now we start looking at, since we can't borrow no more money, we straight spending our money. And all the excess cash we got is going towards bills.
Okay.
So the money we had saved, now we got to pay the bills because we don't have no more leverage money we can spend out, right? You follow me? The issue comes over that now money start getting tight because we done bought all this stuff to get everything started. Money ain't coming in where we want, but we still got what? Outflows, outlays, and money going out.
Right.
Now it's getting slow. It's getting tight. And what happens most of the time, Lab, it gets harder and harder to pay these bills. And now you're doing what? You done got this loan. You was already in a bad shape before, but you've done what you need to do to get this loan at this little funny rate. So now you're paying these. Your loan money is maxed out, card maxed out, bills still coming in. Now you're doing what? What you doing before? Going to your personal stuff and pulling money out of that, trying to cover on everything. And then you get to that little funny part, but you got to say, look, bro, I know I did it big in about 4 or 5 months. I got to decide what I'm going to do. Right. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to let it go, hang up for a little bit. You know, you been on the turn around, had your job, started your business. Now you got a part-time job to pay for your business. Right. It's a true story, right? I done seen this.
That happens all the time.
Hey, they come to my office all the time with this right here. You got to make that. You at that little fork in the road. You got to decide if you're going to keep or you're going to sell your business, right? We still trying to figure it out. And what you try to do is keep it and hold on because you got all these emotions, right? You got all these emotions. I don't want to be a failure. I don't want to be a quitter. I don't want nobody. I'm embarrassed because I don't want nobody looking at me because as soon as I got my business, I was taking all these pictures. Hell, we had a $10,000 grand opening. You know what I'm saying? Right. We had it all. We had the 360 camera. We were, all right. You know. And now all that money gone. Mm-hmm. And you didn't call Mr. Short Dollar at the beginning to help draft a plan.
To pay it back.
And now you call Mr. Short Dollar now to what to do with your money. And I'm like, oh no, man, because I'm trying to make sure you can pay my invoice.
Right.
We talk too long. Well, we go too deep in the conversation. Before I start talking, I got to make sure you pay me. You know, we got to do a little prepaid plan. But all seriousness, now you get that little fork in the road, and then what happens a lot of times you try to hold on, you forced to close it.
Well, let me ask you a question. I think you skipped the part when you were talking. I may have missed it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you were talking about, you know, the loan, the money's gone from the loan and dipping into your personal savings, but the loan has come due. Now that's an extra bill on top of the bills you were already paying, on top of the mortgage, on top of the rent you're paying for the space you got, on top of all the other stuff you done bought. Now the loan come due.
I'm talking about when I say all the outlays of the business. I'm talking about the loan payment, in addition to utilities of the business, insurance of the business, all the outlays coming out. Mm-hmm. And when you get to that point, because you got a lot of people just going to be paying the loan payments with the loan money. Mm-hmm. The money not coming in, like I said, my outlays are coming. I'm sorry, I'm eating this candy. It's pulling air in my mouth. I apologize.
That's okay. But then you have more expenses than you have income.
And that's uncommon with a startup.
Right.
And people get in them kind of situations all the time. And what didn't happen, lad? You back where you started out for. Mm-hmm. You started this business with jacked up credit, jacked up personal credit. Mm-hmm. You did what you had to do to get the business loan. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, because you had bad personal credit, you end up getting a business loan that probably wasn't the best deal for you.
Right.
And now, because of the way you went about it, all the money you pumping out, the business wasn't growing, now you're back at square one.
Right.
The bad part about that is what? It's going to be more painful. Now, why? Because you done did this job twice.
Right.
You back broke twice.
Right.
Hey, being broke once ain't good. But being broke twice, oh, Lord.
Yeah. And when you hit on a sore spot for me a lot is that when you said that you had a job, then you quit the job, and now you got a part-time job. A lot of people rush so quickly to quit their job when they start a business, and the job not even profitable yet. They just I own the business now. It's all uphill from now. It's all sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? And they don't realize sometimes you have to work a job in order to help support your dream.
Shit, I always say keep your job as long as possible.
Right.
Keep your job.
You're going to have the insurance now. Yeah.
I always say that the way that you go about it, knowing when to leave your job, when you can't work your job no more. Mm-hmm. When you can't work your job no more because the business is booming that much, that's when you leave your job. Until that point comes, keep your job. This comes from somebody that's 150% self-employed. Right. Keep your job as long as you can while you growing and nurturing, because you're going to have some setbacks. Yeah, you might feel that you're missing out on certain things because you are going to work. That's part of it. It's going to be grueling. It's going to be rough. When you're so mad, I want to go do my own thing. If I can do this, I can make money. Well, it's a process.
You're right.
But like you said, you don't left it because, hey, I can pay my bills with this part. They're looking at the loan to pay their personal stuff. When the first thing them lenders tell you, we give you this money. This money is not to replace your income. Right. This money is for the business
to grow.
And that stuff going in one ear, coming out the other. Why? I know, because that's what I thought.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, that's a 15, 16 years ago Deontay now. I know better now.
How they going to know if I spend $5,000 right here? They ain't going to know that.
They'll never know.
Right.
They'll never know, and they'll never find out. But you going to know when you ain't got no plan on how your money going to go.
Right.
And that's the thing about it. When you get back in that same situation you start up in, broke, busted, disgusted, now your personal credit shot, now your business personal credit shot.
Right.
What in the world are we going to do now? What in the world? Boy. And here's, like I said, it hurts a lot worse now because you did so much to get out of your personal slump, you felt, and now you done gotten this thing with your business.
Business slump.
Oh, Lord. Ty gonna take me away. And see, this is where I go back to when I was in grad school, one of my professors, Dr. K, and I remember what he said, and it always stuck with me. And he said that people in business, they spend so much time fixing problems but they never ever spend any time, or hardly ever spend any time fixing the cause of the problem. So what happens is you stop the leak. You fix the leak.
Right.
But you never thought to say, okay, what in the world is causing the leak? Too much pressure on the pipe, some kind of antiquated system. What is it? Is it the material we using? I stopped it from dripping, but it may come back and drip again if I don't handle this situation correctly.
Right.
And that always stuck with me. They said that happens so much in business. And you start talking about people that are successful business people making 6, 7 figures. I mean, 6 and 8 figures. I'm about 6 and 7. I'm skipping numbers. They're making a lot of money. So my point being, they're making it, and they're smart. They're making those kind of mistakes. What in the world would you make? So those are the kind of things people don't want to address. You got the money, and you figure the money gonna fix your problem. What is the problem? The number one problem, guys, I'm telling you, when you have these issues, is discipline. It's discipline. Most people get into business, they not disciplined. Like I said, they figure that money is gonna fix their problems. Money don't fix your problems.
Right.
Money masks your problems. But at the end of the day, that leak gonna get too great to cover up anymore. That bleeding is gonna get too out of control where you ain't gonna be able to sit here and fix it no more. And you gotta make some decisions from that point, right? And so when people don't be disciplined to understand how certain things need to be set up, you're gonna find yourself starting over and over and over and over again. And that's why I think people don't want to do it, because when you have discipline, you gotta have patience. You gotta sit and plan. You gotta get all kind of things set together.
You gotta write stuff down.
Yeah, all kind of things come with it.
Right.
And people, and when you start doing that, that's when I hit the pooch. That's too much. I ain't got time to be doing that. You know, you look at how many people actually, and I'm keeping it real, that did get those PPP and disaster loans. And because they weren't disciplined, you know, they made 1 or 2, 3, 4 transactions, money gone like that.
Right.
And because they weren't disciplined enough to go through the steps of properly creating and running a business, or even educating yourself how to do it, the money gone like that. And again, if it was that simple, people, like I say again, the thought process is what? Always gonna be what? Money.
Money.
It ain't money, it's you. It's you.
Nah, Pooch, don't be having me looking at myself.
No. I think we all gotta look at ourselves.
No, I'm just saying.
And it's not.
That's what they saying. Don't be having us looking. It ain't us. It can't be us. We had a plan. We drafted it. We got it together. We went and got this loan. Somewhere in between the loan and the money being gone, something happened that had nothing to do with me.
Well, you had a plan, but you didn't follow it.
Right.
You had a plan because, you know, you heard the guys at the barber shop say, hey, man, get you a business plan. Okay, cool. They called me, hey, short dollar. Can you draft me a business plan? Cool, I give it to them. But, man, you might well wrote it down hieroglyphics. They not.
They're not
following it. They ain't following it.
Right.
They just got one. Right? They got one.
Right.
You know, so it's not. It's just like how many people have bought diets? Or that buy the little, let's take it back. What were the little tummy twisters? The belly shaker. Oh, yeah, the ab rollers. Yeah. They got me. You walk some for a house, you're like, wow, man, what you like, an athlete or something? Man, I ain't you that thing one day. Right. So people get the tools to be successful, but you getting the tools and not using them, it don't make a difference.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I get it.
So people get business plans. People do all the stuff they're supposed to do. But at the end of the day, not using the tools, I go back, not being disciplined, it doesn't make a difference. It does not make a difference.
Right.
Because like I said, now we got to start doing things that are what? Uncomfortable. They different. They're going to be time consuming. Who want to go through that?
Nobody.
No, who wants to go through that?
Nobody. Nobody wants to take a difficult road in order to get to the pot of gold. We want to just go slide down a rainbow and fall in the pot of gold. We don't want to do no work. We don't even want to lift the pot of gold when we want somebody else to carry it for us.
You have a few people out there that can consistently put themselves in situations when things don't work, and let me call a lender up and somebody, they know that you in a hole and they give you money, i.e. Donald Trump, you know, because they know at the end of the day he got some kind of mojo. He know how to make money. He know how to make money and pay off those debts and then get him some money. But that's a talent he has.
Right.
And
I watched some on a documentary today about that, how we ain't gonna go too deep into how stock market works and how this capital group may be a part of that capital group, and that capital group, if they get leveraged too much, they'll loan them some money because they know they're gonna make money. So you ain't talking about no $1 million. We talking about 700 million, 3.5 billion. They learning each other for the stock. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Short selling and all that stuff. So it was actually a very interesting documentary.
In theory, with doing those particular things, I'm giving you this. I know you're in a funk, but I know you're gonna make it back.
Right.
You've built that reputation.
Right.
But if you ain't got a reputation for it, because at the end of the day, let's keep it real. That's what our credit score is. Right. Our reputation. Like I said, we lost a job, we got sick, went through a divorce, whatever. How you got there, they really ain't concerned with it.
Right.
Unless you got the what? Relationship. You got a relationship. Hey, Steve, man, look, I've been banking with you all these years. I come meet with you every month. You know how I am. You know what happened. Right. You know what? I get it. I get it. You can get the money, right? But you didn't want to network. Right. You didn't want to do that. Like the same energy you complain. I done had an account in Chase for 15 years. Y'all can't give me no money. Who are you?
Right.
Who are you? But when they know you and y'all got a relationship, that's the thing. We trying to what? Fix the problems. It's not the cash. It's not acquiring the loan. It's the problems you have. Not networking, not being, educated, knowledgeable about how to do certain things, not being disciplined. Those are the problems you got, right? Those are the problems. And far too often we spend so much time, don't want to be accountable. We don't want to blame each other. We want to blame everybody other than us. What you about to say, that?
I'm going to say, but one thing I do want us to remember, I'm playing devil advocate, is that neighborhood banks are not the same no more. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You used to, way back in the day, I guess way long time ago, before I was born, you could have a personal relationship with your personal banker, but nowadays, the personalized service is not there like it used to be, because banks are not necessarily neighborhood banks now. They're not even located, or their corporate office is not even in the state in which you bank. So I think a lot of times that personalized service that you would know your banker is not necessary, because you may go in there and I may know Poochie and I've been banking with him for 15 years and come in the next day and Poochie gone because Poochie found another job somewhere else that's better paying. You get what I'm saying? So now Poochie the new banker that's behind the counter I'm talking to don't know me, because he ain't seen me, because he's new. He done took Poochie place, and I'm like, well, Poochie know where he go. I don't know Poochie.
Better take him to lunch.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you better take him to damn lunch.
The turnover rate sometimes prevents you from being that personalized person, that having that personalized service and that relationship with that banker.
I totally agree with you, Larry.
Okay.
But you better take him to lunch. You better meet the new guy.
Okay.
You better focus less on what you can't do. Right. Focus more on what you need to do.
But I just wanted to throw that out there. That caveat is probably why people find it daunting to make that relationship with the bank, because banks are not necessarily personalized services anymore. Especially when you have a lot of online banks. You don't even see people on the online banks. You can't get a personalized service with an online bank, because all they telling you is just email us and we'll get back to you.
But the reason why you're going to the online bank is not for relations. You're going to the online bank because they're cheaper.
Okay.
That's the reason why you're going to an online bank. That's the reason why you go there, because you don't have to pay fees. You got, you can do transaction without paying any kind of bank fee. That's why you're doing an online bank, because you don't want to pay fees.
Okay.
And an online bank can do that. Why? Because they don't have any kind of overhead. So that's why you do an online bank. You need lending and all that kind of stuff. You better go the traditional route.
Well, they have lending banks too now. Lending Tree Online. Think about that stuff. I'm just saying as a personal on this side. Like I always tell you, I don't have that CPA experience that you have. As a person on this side coming to your bank to get a loan, you may not know me because your turnover may be high. I've been in there several times, but managers change, people change, they go to other branches, stuff like that. And that personalized attention that I may be trying to get, and that I may know you as my banker, may not be accessible because it's not a personal bank.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but it don't happen that often. It don't happen that often. Everything you just said, I think that I believe that does happen.
I mean, that's a deterrent to us people. To us CPA.
Well, no, it shouldn't be a deterrent, because you still ain't stop asking for no money.
Well,
I mean, it ain't.
That's what they're there for.
I'm just saying, if you still want the money. I mean, if one woman tells you no, are you gonna stop trying to talk to women? No.
That's different.
Nah.
The reward is different.
No. I'm just saying.
Right.
To your point, I agree with you. You know, if you have that turnover, the adjustment, I get it. But at the end of the day, you just need to know how to pivot. You just got, just because it's not there, you know, if they change stuff like that, you just need to go to meet a new person.
Okay.
You know, you just brought up the online banking. The whole thing of dealing with online banking because it's cheaper. Even with the whole thing is a lending tree and things like that, why you going to lending tree? Because you feel like it's more accessible with doing it. Because they got a pool of different loan products. So you're not necessarily dealing with lending tree to get the personalized stuff. You're dealing with lending tree because you might want to get a bigger pool.
Have a better chance.
Exactly. There you go. So the reasoning behind that. Now you may just say you don't know nothing about loans or whatever like that. You just pop up going to one. You're gonna find out quickly why. But every business, lender, whatever, everybody got a different strategy and a different demographic that they cater to. But that's why I say with the whole online banking, the accounts that I have at online banks, it's just transactional. I don't want to pay online fees. I don't need to talk to nobody. The risk coming up with all that is when my account get hung up or something like that, I catch hell 'cause I ain't got nobody to talk to.
Right.
But then I have to do that personal assessment. That particular business, I ain't doing my in and out with that account, so I really don't need that. Some of the ones where I know I probably have to talk to somebody or whatever, I have my money in those particular banks.
Okay.
So you have to do that kind of assessment, and when you don't know, spend some time finding out. Okay? So, you know, I'm glad you went down that road with that, Lab. But here's the deal. Again, tonight we're talking about fixing your credit won't fix your problem, right? And we're looking at, you know, a lot of times people looking at just, if I get this, my credit straight and I get this loan, I better make some moves. Right. But those same bad habits that you had to get you in that little funky spot, you are going to resurface again, regardless how much money you get.
Okay. So
what I'm going to give you guys is some suggestions and a blueprint on how to make sure certain things like this don't happen. Okay, I'm going to give you my blueprint that what I give to people in regards to when you do any kind of business, acquire any kind of business loans, business credit like that. This is what you got to look at. Okay. First of all, guys, and here's the thing that people got to understand, and the disaster loans were a little bit contradictory to this, because I was telling people that if you came to me, I would say apply for it. And the only reason why I would say apply for the disaster loan, even if you're not necessarily going with this route, because you had a 2-year window to start making payments. You can get the money and put it somewhere else. But the number one thing I say, guys, you got to borrow with a plan. You have to borrow with a plan. Not an idea.
Right.
Not an idea. You have to borrow with a plan. When you want to start that restaurant, the nightclub, the particular business stuff, you need to have a plan on how much you need, how much money you need, how you're going to expense that money out to grow your business to be able to make X amount of dollars. So I need to borrow 5 to spend 3.5. That'll turn around and return me 10. You got to have all that stuff planned already.
Okay.
You just can't go out there, I just need some money, and figure it out as you go along.
Right.
No. Does that mean everything you're planning is going to go the way you had it planned out? Absolutely not. But you need to do that. You got to borrow with a plan. You can't just borrow with an idea. People all the time, because when you borrow with a plan, you borrow what you need.
Right.
When you go with an idea, you can under, over, totally book it up. You know what I'm saying? You have to have some kind of concrete plan.
What you're doing.
Exactly. You got to. Number one thing, borrow with a plan. The thing I was saying with the disaster loans, when people come to me, I was like, look, get this. There's no other time where, you know, even though if you meet the criteria to get the loan, put it in an account where you have no access to. If you don't have a plan, and if something come up in the next 2 years, make your plan to use the money.
Okay.
If not, just give it back. Got 2 years.
Right.
So that was a little contradictory to what I normally would tell people.
Right.
But you had a 2-year window to make payments. But that's banking that you're what? Discipline.
Right.
That you done got a $50,000 loan that you ain't making no payments on. But what? What about it, Lab? You ain't gonna touch it.
You ain't gonna touch
You
it.
ain't gonna touch it.
Now that gonna be hard.
Okay. It ain't gonna be hard if you like, okay, I ain't got nothing to do with it. You stick with your game.
I'm like, hey, you know, I need $500. I got $50,000.
Well,
$500
again.
ain't gonna hurt.
Well,
And I'm just messing with you.
but you get my thought process. At the end of the day, you're sitting there borrowing you got to borrow with a plan.
Right.
You got to have a plan and a purpose with it. You just, like I said, you're not borrowing with an idea. And so you're not getting stuck on that. This is just I want to start this up, I want to start it up, but never going through step 1, step 2, step 3, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. You're not going through that. You just ask for money. You gotta borrow with a plan. Got it. That's the first step. The second thing is your plan focus on how you acquire that loan and what kind of asset that you require with it. So when you're making that plan, it's about the amount that you're getting and what kind of assets you're going to get for it. You got to have that thing set up where you're looking at how much I need to get and what I'm going to acquire to be able to make a certain amount of revenue to be able to pay over that particular whatever the cost of getting that loan was. You have to have that set in place. Again, the second thing is when you borrow, you're looking to borrow to acquire assets that's going to be able to generate revenue for you. You got to be invested for the building, the equipment, or whatever. Your thought process, you're looking at, I'm not borrowing just to go shopping and get clothes and stuff like that. If I buy this equipment, there is some thing that I'm looking at. Okay, I'm going to be able to use this equipment, these supplies, to be able to, increase my revenue going down this path. You follow what I'm saying, Lab? Like it just can't be, I'm just borrowing money.
Right.
With
no plan as to what you're going to do with the money and how much the supplies or whatever you need may cost. Right.
Exactly.
Your cost analysis.
What we call cost benefit analysis.
Right.
And you have to make sure that whatever those who see it, and going back to that plan, you got to make sure that you're looking to make acquisitions that's going to have that kind of direction to go into, right?
Right.
The third thing, this is very, very, very important, right? And we did this all the time, like I'm a finance major, we do this all the time. You got to make sure that the rate, you're looking at the rate that you're borrowing at, you're getting a loan 5%, 4%, whatever. I don't know what the hell you're going to do with a 20, 30, 40% loan, but you got to make sure that the ROI, that return on investment, or the rate of return that the revenue is generating for you is higher than the cost for you to borrow.
Okay.
You got to make sure of that.
Now, does that have to be done? I guess does it have to be done before you borrow? Should you have that rate of return already, or does it have to be done? Like you say, you start a new business, so do you expect it to happen?
Everything forecasting.
Okay, forecasting.
Because if I'm sitting there saying that, look, I'm buying this this bread maker. I know that the bread maker can produce X amounts of bread in an hour or in a day, and I know, demographically, normally we making X amount of sales of bread, but with this new machine with output, I can make more. But I got the actual traffic to justify that.
Okay.
So I got something. I'm buying something that can produce more for me to make more money. So again, guys, I'm telling you, the return on investment has to be greater than your cost to borrow.
Okay.
Now, if I'm losing you guys, and I'm being so serious right now, this is why people have to make sure they get some kind of consulting or guidance on the front end when they're trying to go into business, because the mathematics side of it is always going to be the most important thing. You got something, Leo?
Yeah. Demetrius says, what is the basic points? I'm sorry, what are the basic points that a business must have in order to be successful? Sorry. When it comes to projections.
Well, we start looking like we were just talking about now, just knowing the cost, because what rate you got to borrow at. They give you a loan at 5% of the terms or whatever. You know that the rate of the income that you're making, it need to be greater than that, right? So we start looking at just say, you're looking at the projections and stuff like that. You know the cost. And you got to be as, be as realistic as possible.
Right.
You know if you're going to pay what it will cost. If you got somebody working in your shop, X amount of hours, whatever, you can get a guesstimate of what the utilities would be. You can get a guesstimate, a good guesstimate of the insurance, utilities, whatever the cost of operations, payroll, things like that. You can get that. We always start off at our cost. That's why I would tell people, you don't base prices on what you heard or you just try to be the cheapest. You got to sit and be realistic. What's your unit cost? What does it cost to make it? What does it cost to run your particular business, your variable and fixed costs? You start off with your cost, Once you got your costs, then you can sit here and make your prices. Then from that point, when you got your prices, you can be realistic about how much traffic, how much sales you're gonna have. You can say if you made 5 sales, 10 sales, or 20 sales. You can look at that and you can run your projections from there. That time 5, your sales time 5, your sales time 10, your sales time 20, how much money that makes, the total that subtracted from your fixed cost. And that'll let you know. But you got to do all that stuff on the front end.
And when you talk about sales, and this is part of Demetrius, without being in fantasy land, you know, let's just say you have 4 days of sales. You know, you sold 100 units each day, and you usually sell 10. Now, most people, just by human nature, they gonna project their sales off the 100 because they thinking, okay, I done made 100 sales in the last 4 days, so that's got to be what I'm finna do when they do their cost projections. I mean, when they do their, you know, the income projections.
You all want to be conservative as possible.
Right. That's
I mean, you all want to be conservative as possible because I can guarantee you, most retail stores they'll never base their sales projections off, you know, holiday sales,
right,
or different cyclical stuff. They have a stream number. They say, okay, this is pretty much what's going. So if they get the spikes they have in the holidays or certain sales and stuff like that, that's kind of like a bonus. So you kind of want to be conservative as possible. That's why I say you can actually run your projections off, you know, 3 to 5 different scenarios. 5 sales, 10 sales, 20, 100, 200 sales.
You average those out.
Well, no, well, you I mean, just per sale. Just say if you sell 1 bike for $10, you got your unit cost. It costs you $5 to make the bike. And then you sell the bike for 10. So you made $5 profit. Right? And then you got it may be, for easy math, $1,000 to run your facility. So you know, 500 going to 5 going to 1,000. What's that? 20? 200. I'm sorry. So 5 going to 200. So you know you gotta sell what? 200 bikes. Right. So that's easy. Right. So you know that. So at the end of the day, so you take it up to the price being a little bit more, how the volume from that point, you can make your projections. But you got to do that front end math to find out if it's even going to be viable enough. Because you can, and I'm going to tell you what this is encountered a lot, where people get a facility or rent a space out where the overhead, the rent is so high, and they can't realistically make the sales in that particular area to justify the increase in rent. That makes sense? So you got to be able to do that. Your price. So even if you say, okay, I'm going to increase my price, you know what to make it. So if you say I'm selling the bike for 10, I move on Cascade, I get a place in Buckhead, I might can take the price up to 20. Still take me $5 to make it. So instead of making $5, now I'm making 15. And then I can divide that by that, but the rent has went up.
Because you in Buckhead.
Exactly. So you can do all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm giving y'all some of my secrets, guys. So y'all.
And Demetrius said, well, is modest or conservative, or is that the same? I think it's the same. Modest and conservative is exactly the same.
Yeah.
So they say, what about these people selling their houses to make money for their business, but still having to live and pay bills somewhere else?
I did the video the other night about that. She said your house. We're gonna circle back with that after the show, and because I did that was the live feed the other night. Should I buy or sell my house in 2022? In this market. Okay, now we just went over just that rate of return. I just gave you guys a whole little analysis on how to look at it in terms of you need to make sure that your rate that you're selling these items for is greater. The ROI is greater than the cost to borrow, right? That was the third thing. The fourth thing is the loan got to make sense because of that.
Right.
It got to make sense. What do I mean by the loan got to make sense? What I just said. You don't borrow money at a rate higher than you can get a return on your investment. You can't do it. If you know you're gonna be sitting there borrowing at 15, 20, 30%, the cost to carry that loan, the payback for that loan, you know you ain't gonna be able to pay that back with sales because you still got to be in business to pay your overhead.
You still got the overhead that you already had before.
Exactly.
Right.
So it got to make sense. If the math don't work, it don't work. You'll constantly be, you can't be in business really over leveraging yourself and and with no kind of rate of return. You can't do that. But people don't want to look at the math side. I ain't got time to figure that out. People come to me when, I mean, really, to be honest with you, well, I can't do that. It's too late.
Right.
You want me to come out with something? I mean, I'm an accountant. I ain't no magician.
Right.
You know, I wish I could abracadabra and poof. No.
I think a lot of times that's what we were talking a while back about businesses and people rushing to get buildings, to get a physical brick and mortar location for their business because they think it shows success. And we talked about sometimes you just have to do business out your house or do business. So like you said, you used to do it out your kitchen. Yeah. Because you have that cost of renting that spot may be a lot more than what you are bringing in. And people I think people eye success and they think, oh, we got to have a building. It's got to be a building because that only shows success that way. And that's not, if like you said, if it don't add up, it don't add up.
But unfortunately, most folks ain't trying to find out how the math's going to work. You got to be able to do that. Like I said, it got to make sense. And a lot of times people don't want to go down this road of actually trying to do the mathematics side of it because they're looking like that's being a deterrent. Nah, that ain't going to do it.
Right.
But you get in deals that don't make sense for you.
Right.
That's what don't make, stop trying to look at that's being negative. Like I said, I hear it all the time. Well, no, you trying to block my, I'm not doing that. I'm telling you, the math don't work. It just don't work. The deal got to make sense, right? That's the third thing. Well, you got to, the fourth thing, the loan had to make sense. But it's the fifth thing. This is the most important. Guys, again, I can go back to it all again. You got to be patient when you're going through this process. You got to be patient, because you can have so much enthusiasm and love to try to start a business up or get out your, be so hyped to get out your situation. You don't do the most wisest thing for yourself. You put yourself in a situation where you got to keep starting over. So you want to be patient. You got to make sure that you stay focused. Stay focused. Stay on that plan. All right, stay on that plan, looking at it. This is what we wrote down. This is what we want to do. Remember, plans adjust. I get it. Things change or whatever. You have a COVID-19, you get restricted. You may got to pivot one or two ways, make adjustments, but stay on your plan. Stay on your plan. You got to work diligently. You got to work hard. Okay, we say work hard, work smart, and all that. But you're going to do some kind of work. If you want to call it smart or hard, but you got to work and stick on that plan. But again, we go to the most important thing. I'm telling you guys, you got to be disciplined.
Okay.
You can't get around being disciplined.
Okay.
You got to be able to do that. Because if you're not going to be disciplined, I'm telling you, it's going to come back and bite you in the butt. Okay? So tonight, guys, we talked about, again, fixing your credit won't fix your problem. So I hope I kind of gave you guys some strategies, some enlightenment in regards to some of the things that, can cause you to still have issues regardless of what you do to quote-unquote fix your credit or to get that business lane. Those same things that put you in that particular situation on your personal side is eventually going to come back and bite you on your business side because you didn't take time to do what? Correct it. You about to ask me something? No. Okay. Now, listen. Hope you enjoyed the show. What I'm going to do now is open up the floor before we close everything up. If you got any questions that, related and everything. So I'm opening up the floor for that. So
we got to go to slick question.
Yeah, no, I'm about to say. I'm with it. So we'll go to slick question. Here's the deal. This is what I had to deal on. What I was talking about the other night on the live feed. We started talking about this whole real estate market. This is the thing that I'm looking at. That you have all these skyrocketing mortgage prices. Just real estate prices for properties. This is the issue with that, Layup, is that you sit there and say, okay, you offer me $300,000 for my house, right? And you say, okay, cool, that's a deal. Man, I bought a house for $150.
I'm gonna make $150.
Man, look here, I'm good. I'm walking away good. I can put a down payment on a nice crib.
Right.
Give me a big $500,000 house, right?
Right.
What's the problem with that? What's the problem with that? Is that right now, today's market,
it's not tomorrow's market.
Well, the problem to come up is look at what happens. You gave me $3 for my house. I netted $150. I go out in the market, try to buy me a house. The house for $500,000. It's the same damn house as my house. I just
right. The size you just sold. It's the same size.
It's the same size.
Because the market is dictating the price.
Hey.
You didn't realize that when you sold the house because all you saw was $150,000 profit.
Lab is happening every day, Lab. Lab is happening every day. These folks ain't doing that but moving.
Right.
They ain't doing that but moving.
Right.
And you got to be realistic with that.
Right.
I'm telling you, the crib you selling, you're going to turn around and rebuy it at a higher price.
And the higher interest rate, because the interest rate is going to be higher than what you probably bought it at, because if you bought it for $150, the market probably was on a downturn, and people don't realize markets go up and down, especially real estate markets, because based on certain things, and I've been in real estate a long time, commercial anyway. Based on certain things, the market goes up and down. I mean, today that house could be $150,000. I mean, could be $500,000 in 5 years from now. It could be worth 90.
Well, just say you got that market for 150. Just say you got that market for 150, and that was the market then. But now it done went up to 300. It just that's how it is. But at the end of the day, you got to be realistic what's out there. Right. Because what you got offered, then the same house on the other side of town, what prices are higher that you want to go to, you get the same crib.
Probably a little less square footage.
Man, come on.
Because the market, the reason why you're able to sell your house for $350,000 or $300,000, you only bought it for $150, is because the supply is low.
Exactly.
And if your house is going up, you have to realize that every other house is going up too.
Yeah, that's exactly what I talked about, the whole basis of supply and demand. That's why home prices are up. That's why rent is up. The inventory is small. So that's why, because we all know if there's a lower supply and demand is increased, prices go up. All right, if not a big demand for it and it's a big supply, prices go down. Right? That's economics 101. Right. We know that, right?
You learn that in class.
So when
you first sit down in business class.
But you get that, and so when people get in those situations, that's the thing about it. Now, I will say, if it's a rental property or investment property, and you sell it and take that residual to go, or the profit take that and go get you another primary or something like that, I get it. I get it. You say, okay, cool. You doing that with investment property to do that, I don't necessarily know still same thing for the light kind about doing that. But in terms of you able to make a down payment on your primary to get rid of one of your investments, I get it. I get it if you do that. But primary for primary, the math just don't work. And this one time, I don't let me cut you off, but this is theoretically, this is the time where math really don't come to the equation. It's just that the whole point of it is the money profit that you make is just not going to go as far as it would in a quote unquote normal market.
Right. Slick say that are we in a housing crisis? I don't believe so. I believe a lot of times when like gas prices, when they go up. See, people don't, when gas prices go up to, let's say, $3.50 a gallon, they already have in their mind a set amount they want you to pay anyway. They take it up to $3.50 and take it back down to $2.75 because they want you to pay $2.75. You know what I'm saying? The amount that they want you to pay is already set in the price that they went up to. So a lot of times with these markets, especially with the real estate market, they keep the supply low because they want to get the mortgages high. They want to get them high. Then they have a set amount and say, okay, we're going to get this mortgage up this month, and we're going to think we're giving them a break, and we're going to bring it down by making supply a little bit more. You get what I'm saying? You think about all these houses that's $500,000 and $600,000 where you look at it, you like, this house ain't got nothing but one garage and one bathroom.
Yeah. But what's the key with all that? You got accessibility still to go get it. Right. If you qualify, you still can do what? Get the loan. When I think of a housing crisis, I think back to 08, 09 when pretty much all the values dropped, and then you couldn't get any loans. Exactly. Interest only, prepayment penalties. Boy, that when the folk was jumping off that 20th floor. Right. Black. Boy.
But the supply being low and the demand being high, that's just pretty much business.
Yeah. But like I said, you can lease
in a capitalist society.
But you still got access to make money. 08, 09, you couldn't do anything.
Right.
Prices dropped. You had a super overage of inventory. But you still couldn't even buy nothing. You had cash. That was it.
And they was hitting the big boys, because I know I was working for a real estate company, and he called us. He was like, they didn't call my, and this is an astronomical number I couldn't believe. He's like, I need to pay $800 million in 30 days. I'm like, what? So they had called his loan.
And they did it with a lot of people.
Right.
I told you I woke up, had a $30,000 line of credit, woke up one morning, $5,000. Figure it out.
Right.
My smart butt couldn't figure that one out. Got to walk the plank, Deontay, because this ship is sinking.
Right.
And it's sinking fast. Goodbye, 3 sons.
Right.
Boy, And what about you? See anybody else got any questions? I'm trying to skim through. Anybody got any questions? We got a floor open right now, guys. So if you got any business or financial related questions, we've got a floor open right now. We just had a show where we talked about fix your credit, won't fix your problem. Real good show, real good thing. But right now we got everything open in thing.
Nothing else.
Nothing else. Okay, well, man, I think we had a good show tonight. I'm looking at all the other platforms. I want to tell everybody from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, make sure tonight, again, we talked about fix your credit, one that's to fix your problem. You make sure that you go to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like I said, that's our main hub where we got close to 400 videos. I think we got 3 grants live right now. Then I got another one coming out, I think Sunday or Monday, a video coming out. Then we had other videos coming out in between that and stuff. Like a lot of good stuff coming on the channel. So please take advantage of the information we got out there. Also go to my other YouTube channel, Change Your Life, hosted by yours truly, Deontay Burden. Got a lot of great information with that. We'll have that show going next week, but we still got some videos coming along with that. So your boy's staying real busy. And again, you know, when you look at the, if you're looking at us live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, you should see the, in the description section, you should see all my contact information, number to the office. If you need to book an appointment, you can do that. Go to the website, join the mailing list. Make sure you join that mailing list so I keep you guys abreast and updated all the great information we currently have going on and all the information we got coming down the pike, okay? Again, guys, I really want to tell you guys thanks a lot for all the love and support you got. I think right now we're at, what, 22.5 subscribers. We almost at, we might be at 20,000 for TikTok.
Oh.
Yeah. We was at 19.9. But ain't nothing been bought here. It's all grinding and working, baby.
That's right.
So, you know, but I just want to tell everybody from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all the love and support. And keep sharing the information. Keep checking out the videos. Keep liking the videos. Leave your comments. You know, I don't never look at a comment being good or bad. It's your comment. What you want to say, what you want to say. But you better be ready for the response, you know. But serious business, thanks to everybody for all the love and support. Be safe out there. Talk to you soon.